Redditors, who are not in love with their souls, why are you still with them? Good question op. I'm in a relationship for the last 14 years and what I have to say is, love is amorphous, it changes what it is and is hard to pinpoint sometimes. Sometimes you will be mad at each other, sometimes you will share laughter and smiles and hugs and kisses, sometimes you will be underwhelmed, sometimes you will be bored. Sometimes you will be full of pride and appreciation, other times you will take them for granted. Sometimes the sex will be great, other times samey. But life goes on. Can anyone truly say they are in love constantly and without interruption always, or is it something that ebbs and flows? I think the latter. But I am always loyal and feel allegiance to my partner and family. I always have the attitude that I am committed and we are on this journey together, and I certainly don't want to be with anyone else. So that's my 2 cents right now. I was the one super in love. I don't think he was. Once every 4 or 5 months, we'd have some sort of discussion. The last time, it was that he didn't know if what we had was love. I should have seen that as a warning. But I convinced him to stay with me after an hour discussion. I think he felt guilty. I stayed with him through suicide attempts, drug-induced psychosis, and moved countries for him. I imagine he felt an incredible amount of guilt, and stayed with me because of that. I think he cared for my well-being maybe, but he wasn't in love. And it's painfully obvious now that I'm out of the relationship. My brother can't stand his wife, hasn't really been in love with her since about a year before their wedding. He talks about divorce to me when we're alone but he'll never do it. He thinks he'll never meet anyone else being 32 with no social life. Plus there's a strong possibility she might kill herself if they broke up, or at least attempt it. So together they'll stay. I just hope they don't bring kids into it. My parents did not love each other but have stayed together because of children. My boss has been vocal about wanting to leave, but he has kids and no prenup, so he can't afford it. It just sort of became a habit, and when I realized I didn't have the feelings anymore, we had 2 young children and I didn't want to break up the family, and later when we tried couples therapy, this didn't change anything. But our son was diagnosed with leukemia 2 years ago, so I felt we had to stay together until he was well. My ex didn't agree and we were divorced this summer. My son is almost through the treatment and is doing fine. I have not been this happy and relaxed in years, and so far the kids 6 and 9 have coped well with me moving and when they're staying at my new place. I'm thankfully not in this relationship anymore, but out of fear that he'd do something to hurt himself. He threatened to do it when I first brought up that I wasn't happy in the relationship, and he became incredibly manipulative. Neither of us experience attraction but we still care deeply for each other. He's my best friend. Also the marriage was mutually beneficial. Edit, wow, so I did not expect this to blow up. Y'all literally doubled my karma lol. So thanks for all the positive support. I tried to clarify some things in the comments, but fellow aspec people beware that the incels and gatekeepers do come out a bit. I am currently in an amazing relationship, textbook true love type of stuff. However, years back I was in a relationship with a woman who abused me physically, sexually and otherwise. And I did not love her, not for the last year or so when the abuse got bad. So why did I stay if it was so bad? Well, unfortunately, and this is true for abusive relationship as well as for mundane loveless relationships, people get wound up together and then it becomes very difficult to imagine your life without them, even if it's not a good life. I guess people are better at surviving the current hardship than breaking away into the unknown. There's a lot more to my story, and everyone's story has its own details. But I think that's the basic answer. You build a life with someone, it gets hard to throw that life away. Loved her dog. Being in love seems like a state over which you have no control. I long ago made the decision just to love the woman who became my wife. Fortunately she made the same decision about me. Romantic infatuation has faded, but our love for each other endures. It takes work to maintain, to avoid taking each other for granted. Love is not an emotion, it is a practice. Edit, thank you for the awards. I'm glad I could contribute to making some folks' days a little more hopeful, and perhaps inspire a bit more love in the world. In my first relationship I thought I had scored the jackpot. I was young and he was young and jacked and smart. He overglorified himself and I just couldn't see that. I looked up to him as a god, mainly because he kept saying I was bad at my studies and cooking and basically everything that I love to do. I thought I would never get someone better, so thus I stayed. I thought I loved him, I thought that was what love was, but I was just proud that I had gotten someone so amazing. I was stupid. Till the best way to stay in a long-term relationship is to be suicidal. When I was in a relationship with my ex, I liked her, cared for her, been there for her when she needed and gave space if she needed. I don't know if this is love. But she did none in return. She just said yes and that's it. She was only physically attracted to me, I guess. I don't think she ever loved me. She broke up with me for nothing. One day she wanted me out of her life, so I left. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.